Cadet Aaron Malik watched through the wide viewport as the alien instructors waited below. Stood tall and narrow, with long jointed arms folded behind their backs their skin carried a faint blue sheen like polished stone underwater. This was the first joint defense program between Earth and the Verethi coalition. Humans were new to the wider galactic network. Many species believed they were strong but reckless. It was the first day humans would train under a Verethi combat master. Rune felt he had grown up in the low-orbit habitats above Earth where gravity shifted and balance meant survival. He had learned to read motion before he learned to read text. The shuttle doors opened, the air tasted sharper and cooler than on Earth. Verethi Academy was built on a plateau world with thin skies and high winds. The human cadets stepped out in a single file across the platform. The Verethi instructor stepped forward. He was taller than the others and wore a band of dark metal around one upper arm. The translation implant in Arun ear hummed to Li-Fi AM. Instructor Kale Threx of the Verethi. Martial order. You will learn discipline. You will learn obedience. You will learn your limits. Voice sounded steady and low, like wind moving through stone arches. The human cadets answered with a unified nod. Arun kept his gaze level. Kale Threx paced before them, his long fingers flexed, as if testing invisible currents. We begin with a demonstration of reflex hierarchy. He turned suddenly toward Arun. Use tip forward. Darun did. The other cadets shifted slightly but held position. Kale Threx studied him. Your species is known for emotional volatility. Your file notes adaptability. Let us test which governs you without warning. The instructor arm snapped forward. The movement was swift and direct, aimed at Arun. Face. Several cadets gasped. They expected Arun to fall. Instead, his body moved before thought could form. His hand rose and caught the instructor's wrist, not with force, but with precision. He angled the joint just enough to halt momentum. His other hand remained at his side. His eyes stayed steady calmly. He spoke as the class begun. Silence swept the platform. The wind seemed to pause. Kale Threx eyes narrowed. The grip between them held for a breath. Then Toother instructor could have twisted free. His strength was greater. Yet he did not. Instead, he observed Darun. Posture remained relaxed. No tremor in his arms. No anger in his face. Only focused. You anticipated. Without hostility. Kale Threx said at last. Tarun released his wrist at once and stepped back. The class has begun. Now, instructor added. The other Verethi instructors exchanged subtle glances. Training moved to the inner arena. It was a vast circular chamber carved into the plateau stone. Gravity here shifted at intervals to test balance and awareness. Kale Threx addressed both species. Combat is not fear, it is timing. It is breath. It is the space between intention and action. He ordered paired drills. Humans with Verethiran faced a tall cadet named Cyril. Skin shimmered brighter under the arena light. They circled each other as gravity lightened. Cyril struck first with a sweeping arc of her armor. Pivoted. He did not block hard. He redirected, using her reach against her. When gravity shifted heavier, he lowered his center. Instantly Cyril stumbled for half a second, enough for Aaron to step behind and tap her shoulder pointer. Observing instructors murmured softly. The drills continued each time. The Verethi relied on strength and reach each time. The humans adapted to rhythm and angle. Hours passed. Sweat darkened fabric. Breathing grew heavy at the end. Kale Threx called a halt. Respond not with dominance, but with adjustment. He faced Arun. Again explain. Arun considered on Earth gravity varies in orbit. Shifts fast. Systems fail. We survive by adjusting, not by overpowering. Strength fades, balance stays. Low sound traveled through Kale Threx, throat approval on the third day of training. An alarm cut through the academy red light, washed over the arena walls. Automated voice announced perimeter breach and identified life forms. Approaching from the northern ridge, this world was remote. No visitors were expected. Kale Threx turned to the cadets. Is not a drill follow command. Structure Verithy. Instructors moved. 2 defensive stations. Human cadets were ordered to remain inside Arun. Felt tension ripple through the group, through the high window slits. Shadows moved against the pale sky. Creatures with segmented limbs and heavy armor plates, advanced and coordinated. Lines they were not. Varathea carried pulse lances that glowed with unstable energy. The first blast struck the outer barrier. Stone cracked. Dust rained from the ceiling. Kale Threx issued. Rapid commands. Return. Fire seal, eastern corridor. Protect the students. Another impact shook the chamber. A section of barrier failed. 3 armored attackers leapt through the breach. Their movements were mechanical and precise. 1 Verithy instructor fell under a pulse. Strike. The cadets froze. Arun felt fear rise, but he did not let it rule him. He looked at the gravity controls near the arena. Walt training had shown him the pattern. Gravity cycles could be forced manually. He ran toward the panel. A pulse blast scorched the stone near his feet. Kale Threx saw him. Cadet, hold position. Arun shouted back. Trust me. He reached the panel and slammed the override lever. Gravity in the arena shifted to high density. Without warning, the armored attackers staggered. Their heavy plating became a burden. Verithy instructors adjusted quickly. They were used to gravity flux. Humans too had trained for it. The attackers struggled to lift their weapons. Rune moved low and fast. He slid across the stone and struck at the joint behind one. Attackers neither added gravity amplified the weight of the creature. Own armor. It collapsed. A Verithy instructor disarmed it in a smooth motion. Another attacker tried to fire. Arun shifted gravity again, this time to near weightless. The attackers fired wildly, their aim thrown off. Kale Threx launched himself through the air with controlled precision and struck the pulse lance from its grip. Within minutes, the intruders were restrained. Silence returned, broken only by labored breathing. Emergency teams secured the breach. The alarm ceased. Gravity normalized. Kale Threx approached Arunu, defied direct command. Yes. Instructor Wyrun met his gaze. Because command exists to protect him. The situation changed you. Taught us to respond to the space between intention and action. There was a long pause. The other instructors watched. Kale Threx inclined his head slightly. Your species adjusts, not only in combat, but in thought. You acted without panic. You altered the field rather than the enemy. He turned to address all cadets. Today you witnessed integration, human adaptability, combined with Verithy precision. Either alone would have secured victory so swiftly. Injured instructor was carried past them, conscious and stable. The captured attackers were revealed to be mercenaries from a border system seeking to test Academy defenses. News of the incident spread through the coalition networks within hours. Footage showed the moment Arun caught the instructor's wrist on the first day. It replayed beside the gravity shift that saved the arena. Commentators across systems debated the nature of human reflex and restraint. Some called it luck, others called it instinct. Kale Threx called it balance. On the final day of the joint program, the cadets assembled once more on the platform. The sky above the plateau burned gold with evening. Light wind moved steadily across the stone. Kale Threx stood before the human. I struck without warning. I expected retaliation or fear. Instead, I received inquiry. I asked if the class had begun. That question revealed more strength than any counterstrike. Stepped closer to Arunio, reminded me that power without awareness is waste and awareness without calm is chaosy. extended his arm again this time. Slowly Arun met it halfway. Their forearms touched in a gesture of mutual respect. The class has not ended. Threx said, it has only expanded. The shuttle arrived to return the human cadets to Earth. Orbit as Arun boarded, he looked back at the Platovarethi. Instructors stood in silent acknowledgement. He understood that this was more than training. It was the first thread in a larger weave between species strength and adjustment precision. And comaction and the space before it, the shuttle lifted into the thinning sky inside. The cabin, the other cadets spoke in excited tones about the battle and the footage. Spreading across networks, Arun listened quietly. He replayed the moment of the sudden strike in his mind. The wrist in his grasp, the choice not to twist or harm, the simple question spoken in Comhars. The class begun. He realized that every encounter in the galaxy would begin the same way, with uncertainty, with movement, with the chance to respond in anger or in balances. The stars stretched into lines beyond the viewport. He closed his eyes. Training would continue. New instructors, new worlds, new tests. The lesson was already cleared. Do not strike from fear. Do not freeze in doubt. Just breathe. Choosend when the moment comes. Act with comfort. Class had indeed begun, and it would echo far beyond a single arena on a distant plateau world. Asterisk.